Hello everybody and welcome to the Texas Motor Speedway for the 2006 Samsung Radio Shack 400 and the 8th race of our 2006 NR2003 season, where we have Tony Stewart, last episode's winner from Martinsville, on pole position alongside the 9 of Kasey Kahne, as we are green and underway here from Texas. Who's going to get the win in the Lone Star State? We're going to find out, as it is Tony Stewart out to the early advantage from pole position, picking up just where he left off one race ago. Behind him is his rookie teammate of Denny Hamlin, having one of his best qualifying efforts of the season, qualifying in third place, now already up to second, followed by Biffle and Kahne running third and fourth. So it is the Joe Gibbs Racing duo of Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin running 1-2 here in Texas. Tony Stewart leading the opening lap of racing here at Texas after his big win in Martinsville an episode ago. Now Stewart leads Hamlin. There's smoke on the bottom of the racetrack. Someone with an issue. That is the 45 of Kyle Petty, whose engine has gone kaboom, and that is an engine failure from Kyle Petty. He will be out of this race in the number 45 Wells Fargo Dodge. Just 11 laps in. Kyle Petty done with an engine failure. We will throw the caution for that, of course, leaking some fluid on the racetrack as they would in real life, so just trying to get realistic cautions. So for Kyle Petty blowing up, that is going to be a yellow, as Tony Stewart leads Denny Hamlin back to the caution flag here in Texas. And now we get back underway in the restart. On lap number 16 is actually the 21 of Kenny Schrader, leading this lap, getting a nose ahead of Tony Stewart here in Texas on the restart, as some different strategy playing out with some guys staying out, some guys pitting. So a lot of different strategies going on throughout this pack. Hamlin and Kasey Kahne are the first two cars that pitted. Tony Stewart decided to stay out with Ricky Rudd, and now Tony Stewart will easily go right back by the 21 into 3 and 4, and Tony Stewart right back out front, leading the way comfortably here in Texas in these opening 20 laps of competition. And now we move on to a slow-mo replay of a caution where Jimmie Johnson got turned into David Stremme, who slammed the outside wall right back into Jamie McMurray, who was the one who hit Jimmie Johnson in the first place. McMurray got drilled by Clint Bowyer. McMurray goes upside down and starts rolling, flipping on his lid, as does the rookie of Clint Bowyer, who has been absolutely rocked the first 8 races of his Cup Series career, as McMurray, Stremme, Bowyer, Dave Blaney, and Quaffle go crashing in a big pile up here in turn 1 in Texas. The big one strikes early, as here's Clint Bowyer's view. He gets drilled and then easily flipped right over upside down by Dave Blaney. Does a half of a flip, lands back on all fours, and comes to a rest out of this race, as is McMurray, Stremme, Dave Blaney, and Quaffle. All of them involved in the wreck are all out, as they all took some massive hits. A couple of cars upside down. A wild start to the race here in Texas. Already 2 cautions in the first 24 laps. Starting to be back underway on lap 28. At the Stewart Hamlin pitted there further back by the front of the field is going to be Dale Jarrett alongside the 9 of Kasey Kahne in his Dodge for Ray Evernham, leading us back to the green flag. Of course, you see now we're down to 36 cars in the race. The rookie Clint Bowyer out once again, cannot catch a break to start his rookie campaign. David Stremme, Jamie McMurray, who had a couple of good runs lately, both out of this race as well. Same with the 22 of Dave Blaney, and the 32 of Travis Quaffle, who was last season's Daytona 500 winner. But now it is Kasey Kahne easily out to the race lead over Bobby Labonte, driving away here in Stage 1 in Texas. Kasey Kahne out front, but not for long. The 31 of Jeff Burton has taken the lead now on lap 47. How about Jeff Burton? He's had a really strong start to the season in his Richard Childress Chevrolet and continues to do so. Burton leading laps here in Texas over the young Kasey Kahne, who strikes right back 2 laps later. And Kasey Kahne is right back out front where he was a few laps ago, leading the way here in Kansas, seeming like he might have one of the fastest cars on the racetrack now. Here we are with 3 laps remaining in Stage 1. It is still Kasey Kahne leading, but here comes the rookie of Denny Hamlin to the inside. Kahne got held up by the lap car, Terry Labonte, and now Denny Hamlin working that inside lane, trying to take the lead away and possibly his first career stage win. Can he do it? Not quite to 3 and 4. He's going to side draft Kasey Kahne a little bit, who's still being blocked by the 2-time champion of Terry Labonte. Now here we are, just 2 to go in the stage. Can Kasey Kahne hold on? No. Denny Hamlin, a massive run on the inside lane in turn 1, and the 11 of Denny Hamlin takes the lead for the first time today here in Texas with just 2 to go in Stage 1. Now the ensuing lap, this is the final lap of the stage, and it will be likely the first career stage win for Denny Hamlin in his FedEx Chevy for Joe Gibbs Racing. Denny Hamlin wins stage 1 in Texas. Kasey Kahne second, Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle, Tony Stewart the top 5, then Scott Riggs, Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., and Reed Sorenson, your top 10. So Denny Hamlin gets his first career stage win. It is here at Texas with a late pass on Kasey Kahne with 2 to go in the stage. Now we're going to get back underway in stage number 2. Lap number 80 is Carl Edwards and his Office Depot Ford in his sophomore season of Cup Series competition, leading the race with a great restart, clearing Denny Hamlin and Edwards, 2 teammates of Matt Kenseth and Greg Biffle, who are about to go 3 wide for second down the back straightaway. Look out. That is some close quarters racing right there. Luckily, they all managed to get through safely, keeping their strong runs alive today. Hamlin, Biffle, and Kenseth, that is, as Carl Edwards out front leading this race here in Texas in stage number 2 with a good gap over Denny Hamlin, who is caught right back up to him 7 laps later on lap 87. Now here comes the 11 of Denny Hamlin, looking to get the lead once again and go for a possible stage sweep, having a really strong breakout performance today here in Texas, having his best run of his rookie season. And now Denny Hamlin drives into the race lead, taking it away from Carl Edwards. New leader in Texas, Denny Hamlin. But now we go on to lap 100. It is Hamlin Edwards mixing up in lap traffic. Michael Waltrip decides to block Denny, allowing Carl Edwards to take the inside away. Now here comes Carl Edwards back to the front, and don't look now, but here comes the 9, Kasey Kahne in the picture, moving his way into second by Denny Hamlin. But it is Carl Edwards out front as we negotiate this lap traffic. But a few laps later, Kasey Kahne uses that inside lane and will get back to the front, getting by the Roush driver of Carl Edwards. And now Kasey Kahne back out front like he was for a majority of stage 1, midway through stage 2. Now here we are on lap 115, lap 116. A few laps later, Tony Raines has held up Kasey Kahne. This allows Denny Hamlin to get back to the inside. Now Hamlin and Kahne continuing to trade blows for the lead here in this pack with Carl Edwards. Those 3 seem to have the best cars in the field today, maybe alongside Tony Stewart, who's just been stuck in traffic most of this race. And out is Kasey Kahne to the inside of Denny Hamlin a few laps later, thanks to Brian Vickers. And now Kahne will take the lead back from Denny Hamlin here with 40 to go in stage 2 in Texas. Now, a few laps later, it is still Kasey Kahne leader today with a caution, and Casey Mears has crashed. A big incident into turn 3. Bobby Labonte and Casey Mears go crashing to the outside wall, and it looks like Casey Mears' day is done here in Texas midway through stage 2. And that's definitely going to hurt his hopes for the chase, as Mears, one of those bubble drivers, couldn't afford to crash out, and unfortunately gets taken out today by the veteran Bobby Labonte. And now Kasey Kahne is your leader at the caution flags. Now we will restart here on about lap 130 or so. It's about a good 35-36 to go on the stage. And Denny Hamlin on the outside lane gets a better restart than Kasey Kahne. And Hamlin will clear Kasey Kahne and take the lead here in Texas, trying to go for the stage sweep. And Casey Mears is officially out of this race. Looks like he'll end up coming home in 36th place as Kahne and Stewart continue to do battle for a second. Denny Hamlin's now out front, leading this race pretty comfortably, looking to find his way into victory lane, but he leaves the bottom open, and here comes Tony Stewart, who has climbed his way back. Took the entire stage to get here, but back to the race lead, and here comes Tony Stewart, defending Martinsville winner from last episode, now leading here in Texas over Denny Hamlin and Kasey Kahne. But Kasey Kahne strikes back, driving right back into the race lead on lap 149 with a good 18 to go in the stage. Kasey Kahne out front trying to hold off Tony Stewart, but now Kasey Kahne getting held up by the 4 of Scott Wimmer in lap traffic, and Tony Stewart taking advantage of the inside lane. We've had some great battles at the end of the stages so far today. In stage 1, Denny Hamlin just stole the stage win from Kasey Kahne, negotiating lap traffic. Tony Stewart trying to repeat the same thing his teammate of Hamlin did to make it a Joe Gibbs Racing stage sweep, as Stewart easily drives his way into the race lead, going by Kasey Kahne. And now caution has come out here as Stewart's leading, and there's Kasey Kahne is destroyed, the dominant car of the day. The 9 smoke trailing out the back of that car. Heavy damage on the front and rear ends of Kasey Kahne's Dodge, and it looks like his day is over. About 7 laps short of the end of stage 2, Kasey Kahne's day is done. A stunner here in Texas. He got collected with Elliott Sadler on this restart. Denny Hamlin and Tony Stewart glitch into each other. Now they both have damage. Keep an eye on that. Significant damage to the 11 and the 20. Here with just 4 to go in stage 2. Hamlin gets out to the lead, but Tony Stewart's dropping back with that damage. And now Kevin Harvick and Martin Truex Jr., another rookie, is trying to take advantage of this situation here. What a wild turn of events here in Texas with Kasey Kahne out of this race now, really opening things up, especially Hamlin and Stewart damaging each other on this restart could really change things as we know it here, fighting for the win in this race. But right now, and there's a huge crash. Caution is out, which is going to end stage 2. Carl Edwards is involved. Mark Martin spinning through the grass. Tony Raines. Mike Garvey is collected. It was Bobby Labonte who got turned head on into the outside wall by Jeff Burton, collecting Scott Riggs, Carl Edwards, Mark Martin. Jimmie Johnson barely gets through. Michael Waltrip is in it. Joe Nemechek. And then that same caution down the back straightaway. Greg Biffle takes out his own teammate, Matt Kenseth. And they go crashing hard into the inside wall. Unbelievable. What is going on here in Texas? All of a sudden, this race has completely turned upside down. And Kevin Harvick is going to steal the stage 2 win to get a second stage win in the campaign. Followed up by 3 rookies of Hamlin, Truex, and Sorenson. And then Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart, Dale Jarrett, Matt Kenseth. Sorry, not Matt Kenseth. It'll be Dale Jarrett, Jimmie Johnson. Carl Edwards and Greg Biffle, the top 10. What a turn of events here in Texas. Kevin Harvick wins stage 2 after a lot of cars crashed. And now we're going to get back underway in the 3rd and final stage of racing. Kevin Harvick on the front row alongside the rookie of Martin Truex Jr., who I believe just led his first career lap in the Nextel Cup Series here in Texas. The Harvick can work the middle lane. As to the Harvick's inside is Reed Sorenson in the Target Dodge, another rookie just like Truex and Hamlin who have had phenomenal runs today. Now here comes Reed Sorenson for Chip Ganassi Racing, who has led some laps in a couple of other races this season, now leading the way here in Texas, trying to pull off a huge upset to get his first career victory, and what a win it would be if he could pull it off. And now Sorenson gets past. He goes too high. Kevin Harvick, your 2003 champion, right back to the lead here in Texas. Harvick leading the way in his Good Run Chevy for Richard Childress Racing with 98 to go in Texas, with the caution comes out the ensuing lap because Dale Earnhardt Jr. has gone crashing off of Dale Jarrett and Kyle Busch. Jr. slams the wall hard, clipped by Robby Gordon back into the outside wall. And that will be the end of the day for your Daytona 500 and 2004 champion, Dale Earnhardt Jr. What a shame. He is out. Robby Gordon as well. And his race will come to an end just at the beginning of the final stage of racing. He's having a good top 10 run too. So Jr. and Robby Gordon will be both out of this race. Now we're going to get back underway. On lap 10 is going to be, well, sorry, this was more like lap 176. So we got another 92 laps remaining in this race. It's Martin Truex Jr. leading, Kevin Harvick and Tony Stewart doing battle for second. Reed Sorenson in the picture, as well as the Roush cars of Kenseth and Carl Edwards. And the cautions come out again. I just saw the caution lights in the background. The caution's out again as Martin Truex Jr. is going to be leading. And there's a big wreck. Jimmie Johnson, your points leader, is involved. He gets spun around by Jeff Green, who got turned by Ricky Rudd. JJ Yeley is in it. Jeff Gordon involved. Kurt Busch is collected in the 2. Another multi-car pile up here in Texas as the chaos continues. Luckily, Jimmie Johnson avoids any significant damage, so I believe your points leader will be okay to continue and salvage some points in today's race. But it is still Martin Truex Jr. leading his first career laps in the Cup Series here at Texas, but he has a horrible restart. And what a jump by Tony Stewart, who takes the lead right back on lap 15 of this second or of this third and final stage of the race. So we have 86 laps to go. It is Tony Stewart leading the race here in Texas. Of course, stage 1 went to Denny Hamlin, stage 2 went to Kevin Harvick, and now Tony Stewart trying to get back-to-back victories here. Now here comes Carl Edwards to the inside of Tony Stewart, the 99, trying to take the lead away from Tony Stewart. Can he get away with it here on the inside lane? This battle continues, but Stewart just a little checkup on the top, and Carl Edwards moves into the race lead with 73 laps to go in Texas as he makes the move on Tony Stewart. But then a caution came out a few laps later because the 16 of Greg Biffle got involved in a crash, and Greg Biffle now out of this race. He has a solid top 10 car, but I guess the complications from that incident with Matt Kenseth earlier, and maybe He got clipped by somebody else, takes Greg Biffle out of this race, and now Tony Stewart will be back out front as he beats Carl Edwards on the restart. Stewart leaving out. Carl Edwards taking the lead back here with just 52 laps to go here in Texas. Carl Edwards leading, but it's a 3-car battle between him and the Joe Gibbs Racing teammates of Tony Stewart and the rookie Denny Hamlin. But it's Carl Edwards out front, 52 to go in Texas. And now just 2 laps later now, with 49 laps to go, it is the 11 of Denny Hamlin taking the lead back from the 99 of Carl Edwards. And now Denny Hamlin out front once again, having a breakout performance today in Texas with just 48 laps remaining. Gets by lap car Vickers. Hamlin now in position to get his first career win. Can he hold on? Maybe not for long. Tony Stewart takes the lead, but now Stewart coming in for his scheduled green flag pit stop with just 42 laps to go in this race. Tony Stewart is in from the lead, which leaves, of course, Carl Edwards and Denny Hamlin out on the racetrack. And that ensuing lap, Edwards and Hamlin both together here are going to be making their way down to make their final stops of the day. They will be countering Tony Stewart's short pitting strategy. Edwards, Hamlin come in lap after Tony Stewart. Matt Kenseth joins them from 3rd, Truex from 4th, which leaves the 41 of Reed Sorenson out to lead this race once again here in Texas. Sorenson back out front leading the way once more, but now he pitted, as did Ryan Newman, which now gives the 19 of Jeremy Mayfield the lead on lap number 64. So now Mayfield out front here and waiting for him to come down, which he will. 12 laps later, Mayfield is in, and this will give the lead now to the 38 of Elliott Sadler and his M&M's Ford. And the cautions come out midway through the cycle. Sadler stayed out, but the caution came out because Brian Vickers got spun down the backstretch, careening to the inside wall. I just caught the end of it. I missed who got him, but Vickers gets spun out. That brings out the caution, and that's exactly what Elliott Sadler wanted to see. Now he has track position, restarting in the lead here in Texas with just minimal laps remaining, but Carl Edwards on his outside lane. I believe we have just 17 to go here in Texas, and it is Carl Edwards trying to break Elliott Sadler's hold on the race lead, but Sadler, a really strong restart. Can he clear high? Yes, maybe no. Carl Edwards fights back on the outside of Elliott Sadler. He's had a great restart so far in his M&M's Ford, but then Carl Edwards, what a run on the outside lane. He just got Edwards to the lead with just 16 laps to go here in Texas, getting around Elliott Sadler. So a caution comes out, and now we get back underway. Going to be, I believe, just 5 laps remaining here in Texas. It is Denny Hamlin and Carl Edwards the front row. Hamlin looking for his first ever win in the Nextel Cup Series. Carl Edwards trying to get 2 wins. The last 3 races would be a statement victory for sure. Matt Kenseth in the picture as well. Don't count out the DeWalt for the number 17. Kenseth mixing up with your leaders, but it's Carl Edwards who is clear over Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin for the race lead. Edwards leading the way. Now just 4 to go, and the caution has come out again. The caution is out once again with just 4 to go, but another huge pile up in turn 1 is because Ricky Rudd's checking up on the bottom. He gets turned by Jeff Green right into Jeff Gordon. A horrible angle into that safer barrier. A hard collision. And that collects Sterling Marlin, Kyle Busch, and Mike Garvey. And then Mike Garvey goes upside down. Up on his side into Jeff Gordon, collecting Lepage. I mean, look at his full speed. Oh my goodness, what an impact for Jeff Gordon. A huge hit for the 4-time champion. And then a bunch of back markers collected as well with Garvey and Lepage there. Kyle Busch destroyed, who is running solid. Sterling Marlin taken out at a top 20 going. They are all wrecked, and a huge pileup is going to send us to NASCAR overtime for a green-white checkered finish here in Texas. We are green and back underway. 2 to go here in Texas. Who is going to win it? Carl Edwards restarts on the front row. He will easily clear his teammate of Matt Kenseth as the sun has come back out here in Texas for this green-white checkered. Now Denny Hamlin in the 11 on the inside lane gets by Matt Kenseth. Next flag ends the race as we only have 1 green-white checkered attempt per the NASCAR rulebook. They are 3 wide for 3rd. Can Carl Edwards hold back the rookie of Denny Hamlin having the best of the race of his life? A breakout performance now, trying to get career win number 1 as he closes in on Carl Edwards. White flag in the air. Final lap here in Texas. Hamlin to the inside, going for the lead on the last lap. Can he take it away from Carl Edwards? down the back straightaway. Good run from Hamlin. Here comes Tony Stewart as well on the inside. Hamlin to the lead on the final lap, but Tony Stewart, his teammates right there, falls in line behind him. Now through 3 and 4 for the final time on a last lap pass. Denny Hamlin is going to get career win number 1 here in Texas. Hamlin wins it. What a performance and what a win on a last lap pass by Denny Hamlin on Carl Edwards. Gets the win. Tony Stewart makes it a Joe Gibbs Racing 1-2 finish. Carl Edwards third. Martin Truex Jr. a career best 4th place finish. Kevin Harvick rounds out the top 5. Then Matt Kenseth, Scott Riggs, Jeff Burton, Reed Sorenson, and Jimmie Johnson, your top 10. Unbelievable. So Denny Hamlin wins it here in Texas, leading 41 laps in a breakout performance to get his first career win and becomes the 175th different winner in the history of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. There are some race results there on the left side of your screen, but those aren't the actual results. The actual race results will be linked in the description down below. And now you're going to look at your updated NASCAR Nextel Cup Series point standings after the first 8 races of our regular season. Jimmie Johnson, still your points leader like he's been all season long, but only now by just 9 points over Tony Stewart, who has closed in after his stellar performance here in Texas. Mark Martin, Carl Edwards, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon, Greg Biffle, still all looking comfortable in the top 10 in points. Jeff Burton moves up to 8th, 17 above the cut line. Kyle Busch, 9th, plus 13. Kurt Busch, Kyle's brother, on the bubble, 1 point above Matt Kenseth for that final spot in the chase. Dale Jr., Reed Sorenson, Casey Mears, Jamie Mack on the outside looking in. Denny Hamlin has climbed all the way up to 18th in points after his big win. So there is your standings. Denny Hamlin, career win number 1 here in Texas. And as we end this episode, as always, I want to give a special shout out to my channel members. So thank you very much to Brenda Breen and Jeremy Isley. I really appreciate your guys' support. It means a lot to me and helps this channel and I continue to grow and do great things on our road to 1,000 subscribers, as we've broken 900 recently. So those of you that are watching and are not subscribed, please do subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and it means a lot to me, and it's completely free. It only takes 2 seconds and would definitely help this channel out a lot to go a long way. So if you want to become a channel member, link for that is in the description as well. So until next episode, I hope you all have a good one.